Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division for the Acacia Reserve in the Summer Major Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Let's go! So, I'm going to start by playing this drive 20% extra. It's downhill, it's a little bit more than front tee, and front tee plays 10%, then we play 20% from second tee. Max side spin, and I'm also going to use 2 bars of topspin in this case. I'm playing with a power 3 ball, which is not really... You know, it's not necessary, but I like when in crosswind and in headwind, I think a power 3 ball would definitely be a lifesaver in many times. So, we'll get it down there. The ball is going to be bouncing nicely over to this fairway here. And the reason we choose the right side is due to the worse approach that we would be getting if we would be trying to lay up on the left side instead. So I do believe that the right side is the way to go. Before we go more forward or to my second shot, look down in the video description. You will find timestamps for all the holes in this playthrough. Also that you can find the link to the website golf-tommy.com, where we always have updated content for the tournament and regular tour play. Also, if you do want to get the updated text guide, sign up on patreon.com/golf-tommy, link in the description as well. The final part I want to mention is about the elevation here. The game makers has made some very different tee boxes, and with that I mean that the rookie tee is often further down than what it is from second and from third tee. So I'm trying to explain that, and also in the text guides you will be able to find detailed information about that as well, so you're not missing out on something there. So when it comes to the approach here, I'm going to play with either a short iron or with a long iron, and in this case with a power 3 ball and with a good drive, we do have the option of playing with a short iron, and that's something that we're definitely going to do. The thing that I do as well for the second shot is to over adjust 10%. So we do need to over adjust due to the slight downhill approach for the second shot here. And now when we do have crosswind, I should have compensated a little bit more due to the extra little push we are getting from the wind. We go over to a very tough par 5, the first par 5 in this playthrough, hole number 2. We're going to start by playing this one 10% downhill, max side spin to the right, and in this case I'm playing with 3 bars, but then I change and play with 2.5 instead, because with tailwind we do not want to go too long, we just want to get the ball to stay on the fairway up there to the right. And this is going to be a course where a power 3 ball is going to be absolutely necessary. I also think for those of you that do have a bunch of power 4 balls, it could be worth playing with a power 4 ball on this hole to just make sure that you will reach when you have made your drive. We bounce very nicely over using some curl, and you can see the curl that I'm using was around, 75% of a ball outside the adjustment range to the right. And if I didn't mention that from the start, it is a 10% extra elevation for the drive. Once getting up there, it's important that we pick our wood club that gives us the most distance. And in this case, it's going to be the Cataclysm on this account, but it could rather be, a big dog. And the only thing that I'm looking for there is the distance, or the power as it's called in stat. And the power there with the big dog and the Cataclysm is the same. It's 180, and that's what we do need for the second shot. Because frankly, we're not going for albatross here. We're going for an eagle. And now you can see the bunker there that we do have on front, which is a very, very tough bunker to have in play. And if we're going to approach over the bunker, then we're going to play with 1.5 to 2 bars of backspin. If we play on the side, we could be good with some topspin to let the ball roll up there, because we are going to use the right side or the left side of the bunker if we are making a crappy drive and going short and cannot bounce over the bunker, because we definitely not want to end in the bunker. That's going to be very bad. 20% extra for the second shot, and as you can see, I compensate that with going with a little bit overpower. And now we're just getting the ball down here, and we're just gonna take the eagle and be happy with it. The first par 3 is hole number 3. Yeah. Oh, I'm funny. And so where I'm playing with a navigator. If when you play this one in the tournament, make sure that you're playing with a ball with more side spin, so you can aim a little bit further away from the rough and the sand to the right. Blue ring at the rough there, as I'm using now, and I'm using 3 bars of backspin and 2.5 bars side spin to the right. And you can see that I left the ball guideline pretty short to the pin, and that's something that you do need to do, because the beginning of the green has a little slope there that will make the ball get some speed, and to be able to get that ball to stop, we do need to use backspin, obviously. Get to roll down here. We're coming in a little bit hot and will be up there on the fringe. No, like this one is a wedge we will get all day and every day, but in the end we do want to have a chance to make an hole-in-one. So the thing that I would like to do is to play with a side spin 2 or a side spin 3 ball, not necessarily Kingmaker. It could be good with a Quasar minimum or maybe a Katana. 10% extra for the second shot is going, it's not second shot, for the first shot, the tee shot, as it's going to be a 10% elevation. Hole number 4 is a par 4, and here I'm going to make a mistake with my drive. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, but we are going to play on the right side. That's the plan. Max topspin and 2.5 bars side spin to the left. And if you have less topspin bars, or you even have more, then you can use more and you can use less as well. The thing that I would like to have here though is to have a little bit more side spin than a side spin 1 as I'm having on the navigator. And the problem for me here is that I slightly over adjust my shot, and then I do forget about that we're actually aiming where the bounce is supposed to be, on kind of like a downhill slope there on the left side, as you can see there. And now we are basically hitting that on the just on the edge, but more on the top, and then we don't get the kick to the left and we go into the rough. And so that was very unfortunate, very unfortunate, but something that we will have to learn from and go from there. The drive here is going to be 10% downhill, and that's going to be the play with basically any type of wind, because if we get down there, we're going to have a very good chance making an eagle from distance. If we have an absolute massive headwind in our face, like a 10-mile-per-hour headwind with a Kingmaker, then we might could consider playing more to the left. And if we play to the left, it's 20% extra, because we're aiming to a lower point than we're aiming now. They're up to the right. Now from the rough, it's not that interesting for you to watch, I know that, and for me as well, it's not that super interesting from the rough, and we can just do our best, go towards the pin. The only thing to have in mind here for the approach is that it's played 10% downhill as well. So if you get there with your short iron, and then you will be playing with a 10% downhill. But look how close we are, that if we would just be making our drive correct, or like better, then we would be having a very good chance making an eagle from distance. Par 3, hole number 5, and here I do have a power 2 ball side spin 3. Perfect ball here, absolute perfect ball. And the reason I think that's the perfect ball, it's because we are going to want to use that side spin approaching the pin. In tailwind, this is going to be an approach with a long iron, as we do going to otherwise be in between clubs if trying to play with a wood club. Max side spin, 2.5 bar backspin, and I'm playing this one minimum distance plus 20%. And hit the ball perfect, the ball coming in here, and it's going to bounce on the fairway and it's going to roll up very nicely towards the pin. The thing that we will have to learn from this though is that if we do have wind that is maybe like a left, right to left type of wind, where we're not going to get any help from the wind, and also kind of the opposite, then we do need to aim slightly more to the right side of the rough line there to play it a little bit more aggressively there. And if and yeah, I said that about the tailwind and 20% extra. So we're gonna leave hole number 5 and go to hole number 6, which is a par 5. And now we do have some tailwind here, and I'm playing with a power 3 ball, max topspin, which in this case is 6 bars, and as much side spin to the right possible, which is 4.5, and a power 3 ball. The power 3 ball is very valuable, not that much maybe for the drive, but for the second shot. We are going to bounce over the rough and the sand. That's what we're looking for, and you can see that I used a lot of curl. I used around 75% of the ball in curl outside adjustment range to the right to kick ourselves over there to the right side. If you do have an apocalypse, you can use even more curl, which of course gives you an advantage, especially if the wind is like a crosswind right to left or something like that. The reason I'm using the right side here is that if we choose to play on the left side, the approach towards the pin is going to be very, very tough. It's basically going to be an approach where you have to lay up close to the pin at somewhere and then approach the pin with a wedge. Our opponent chooses to play that side, and that is going to be hard for him to reach there, because now when you get into the aerial view, you will see the rough and the sand by the green, and he has that completely in the line. We have an open shot towards the pin. That's why I'm choosing the right side. The drive, last but not least, 20% extra if I didn't say that. Very important to add that. The second shot, we don't need to add or subtract anything. We just play it as it is. So if we can get over to the right, then we're gonna get there, go there, or try to get there. If we do have a straight headwind, then we most likely cannot get over there without clipping the rough if we're not having apocalypse 5, 6 or 7 topspin. So have that in mind. Hole number 7, par 3, last par 3 of this playthrough, and also it's the tough one. This is a majorly elevated hole, and we're going to have to play it 30% extra, and that's the problem it gets for me. I get into with the wrong club and I kind of wing it when it comes to the adjustment here. The wrong club, I mean, I don't want to play with a Cataclysm level 6 in a shootout. So in this case, we're going to have to go and we play with 2.5 bar backspin, and I changed in the end to play with 3 and 2 bars of backspin. So I would say here 2 bars of backspin would be better, and also to go with a little bit more side spin, like 3 bars. So basically change it around. So 2 bars backspin and 3 bars of side spin to the left. Aim it there at the top, and then in the end I'm going to make a 30% extra adjustment here. The problem is that I don't do that, so I'm gonna go short, as you can see there, very short, and just reaching over there to the other side. Sure, I have a putt making the birdie, but that's definitely not what we're looking for. Tough par 3, but make sure that you are ready, pick the sniper, and then go from there. That's going to be a general birdie hole. It's not going to be a hole where we're going to expect anything else. Hole number 8, here we play aggressively again. We do want to leave ourselves up to a short iron if I can decide. And therefore we're gonna play up over there to the right. I think the extra mile gives us the perfect curl here with extra mile level 8, and also extra mile level 7 would be valuable there. But if you do have, let's say, an extra mile level 6 below, then it might be better, or like extra mile level 5 below, it might be better to play with higher level quarterback, but then with a power 3 ball, so it compensates itself with the more distance on the ball but less distance on the club. 20% extra for the drive from second tee, it's 10% for the front tee, but then we play further down. So 20% extra for the drive, max topspin, as much side spin to the right, and then of course the curl. Then we're going to get over here to the fairway, where we are going to have a very good chance for an eagle. Can we make it happen? Can we make it happen? Yes, we can in this playthrough at least, and hopefully we can transform that into making a lot of eagles when it comes to the tournament. And the second shot here, I'm going to over adjust with 10% as well, aiming straight at the pin with the 10% over adjustment. It's going to be money in this playthrough, which I really like. But in the end, there is going to be opportunities on the Acacia Reserve holes. Not that many though, so it's very important to take these chances with your short iron and to see if you can drop something here from distance. Last but not least, we are going to go to hole number 9. Hole number 9, we're going to play on the right side. It's going to be a 10% extra adjustment with the drive there. Max topspin, which is 6 bars, and 4.5 bars side spin to the right. And in this case, when having wind right to left, I'm going to go with a little bit of counter curl to the right. Adjust my shot, and then I push up the target into almost max distance, because we do want to gain as much distance as we possibly can for the the second shot then later. So we could even push this one a little bit harder. For those of you playing with a club that doesn't have 6 bar topspin, you maybe have 4.5, which everyone that has an extra mile 5, 6, 7 are having, then you can go with a little bit of overpower instead of to kind of compensate for the topspin that you are not having compared to my extra mile 8. The left side is totally out of play in my book. The reason being is the bunker you can see there by the green. It's completely in the line of what we want, because we don't want to just lay up on the side or trying to bounce over the bunker. We do want to have at least a realistic chance of getting an albatross, even though I never expect an albatross on a par 5, not at least on any new hole. Our opponent unfortunately gets into the rough, and now he cannot reach for the green too, because we do need distance overall here. The second shot, the power 3 ball, is very valuable, playing with the club that gives me the most distance, and on this account is that Cataclysm level 6, but in the end, if you do have a big dog, you can use that one and it could be equally good. Max side spin to the right, and here we would be better off with the tailwind that we're having to play with maybe 2 bars of backspin, but I'm playing with 1 bar backspin to make sure that I'm getting over the hump there. And you can see the fairway here is a pretty interesting shape, as it is slightly uphill as in the front, and it's going to be a very strange bouncing over there towards the green. A little bit of overpower here in the end. No over, no under adjustment for the second shot, and we're just gonna get it up there, taking our eagle, and be satisfied with that. So here we do have it. Pro and Expert Division for the Acacia Reserve and the Summer Major Tournament. I would say here that the par 4s, all 3 of them opens up very good opportunities for making eagle from distance. The par 3, we have 2 par 3s where there is decent chances, then 1 par 5 I would say. There's 3 holes whereof 2 par 5s and 1 par 3 where I feel it's going to be like take the par / eagle and the birdie / eagle and be happy with that. But I might be changing once playing these holes in the tournament a little bit more. For those of you who do want to have the updated text guide, sign up on Patreon, link in the video description down below. Also, log on to golfclashtommy.com, all the content for the Summer Major, but all other tournaments and also all other tours are there on the site. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to make a comment in the comment section below. Hit thumbs up if you like the video. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.